everybody, it's me, Mariah, and if you do not know me, you are crazy. I'm TanglesInTiaras on YouTube. Nice to meet you. I've been trying to figure out which story I'm gonna do today, because I really want to tell you about one thing, but I really want to tell you about what just happened. So I think I'm gonna tell you about what just happened. So I just got a brand new job and I'm very excited, obviously. I've only been actually on the floor for 2 days, and I actually have to work tomorrow, but that's just like another story. As some of you may know, I am from California and I moved to Georgia when I was in like 8th grade. I didn't really get a bunch of people who thought I was gorgeous or pretty. And I don't just mean high school guys, because let's be honest here, high school guys will never tell you if they like you unless, you know, they either have the guts or they want to get somewhere. I never even got this kind of attention when I was a waitress. So it's a little weird for me because when I moved to Tennessee is when all this started happening, but I never really got it. Like, it was way more than before, let's just say that. This is a pretty short story. I just can't even believe it. It blows my mind. It's like, you know, why? So I was working at the cash register yesterday. It was not fun because I don't know if you've ever worked at a home improvement store or you've ever actually paid attention when you check out, but their cash registers, I was working on the cash register, learning how to do stuff like a normal trainee, I guess. Sometimes older people can be very gross and perverted. So there's your little warning. So my first customer, he looks at me and he goes, "You're beautiful." Oh, thank you. You know, like, thanks. That's really nice of you. I keep checking the person out, and he's like, "I'm sorry, it's just, you're so beautiful." Thank you. Did you find everything you need? You know, like, what do you do? You're just like, thanks, moving on. Let's talk about what I need to ask you. And then at the very end, when I was giving him his change, I was putting his coins in his hand, right? And this is his hand, this is my hand. I was putting it in his hand and he went like that so that my fingertips would touch his hand. And I looked at him and he was all, and then he said, "Stay beautiful," and winked at me and he left. And I was like, thanks. It was interesting. I've never experienced something like that, especially from pretty much anybody, really, let's just be honest. So the next guy, he was probably in like his 40s and he dressed like he was in his 20s. So that kind of shows what kind of guy he is. And I was checking out his stuff. He had a lot of stuff. A lot. But you know, he was lightly flirting with me and stuff, but whatever. Apparently I looked really good that day. At the very end, when I was saying, "Oh, have a good day," I looked down and he had this thing. It was kind of like a skateboard, and it had a giant wheel in the center, and it was wood. And I asked, "What is that? That is so cool." And he was telling me about it, and I was like, "Oh wow, that is so cool. I could never ride anything like that because, you know, I'd break a bone." You know? I can teach you how to ride it. It's easy. I was like, "Oh, thanks, but I'm okay, you know, it's all good, have a good day," you know, just trying to make the situation not as awkward as it started to be. So he left. He came back and he handed me his card. And I just looked at him and I was like, what is this? You know, like, what? And he said, "If you ever get bored, just text me. My number's on the back. So is my email." And I said, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "Yeah, I'll teach you how to ride." And I said, "Okay, thank you. Have a good day." You know, I didn't really know what to say. I was just like, he just gave me his number. But then he left, and the lady who was next to me looked at me and said, yeah, he'll teach you how to ride something, alright. And that was the most hilarious thing I have ever been told, or like, you know, someone has said about a situation I was in, and I was like, oh girl, you are my favorite in this place. And then the very last one, I didn't even think about this one until I was talking about the last guy, who, by the way, I'm not gonna call. He, not good. But the very last one was like these 3 people, and they came up and they were all together. It was this older man and then these 2 younger men. And they were checking things out and they were putting their stuff on. I was scanning it, and when I am scanning something to put it in the bag, the guy takes something that he was putting on the counter and he pretends he's gonna put it in the bag. And I just joke and I say, ha, nice try, can't do that to me. And then the older man was like, he just wanted you to run and tackle him when the alarms went off. Okay, whatever, that's kind of funny. I am checking them out, you know, I'm making light conversation because they had a bunch of stuff, and it's really weird when you just sit there and scan and everybody's in silence. So I talked to him, and I totally forget that those guys are even there because they're just watching me and staring at me, and it was a little awkward. I am not the type of girl who loves attention from guys, you know, especially guys I don't know. So, you know, it's really weird, and I don't like feeling like someone's looking at me like I'm a piece of meat. I absolutely hate it. I know some girls kind of enjoy it. I don't know how, because honestly, it weirds me out. So I'm talking to the guy, and all of a sudden I hear, oh man, she's wearing a wedding ring. I'm like, what are they talking about? And then the guy's like, look, she has a ring on her finger. She has a wedding ring on her finger. I have this ring from my mom. I've had it since I was in, I think, 8th grade. It's my first ever like real piece of jewelry, and so I always wear it. And as a nervous tick, I always move it from my regular finger to my marriage finger. So I thought, oh, I must have gotten nervous and put it on my, you know, my wedding ring finger. You know, it happens. But then, you know, I lightly do this just to feel it, and I'm like, my ring's on my right hand. So I kind of ignore them. I'm not going to say, oh, that's not a wedding ring. What are you talking about? Because, you know, I don't want them to feel stupid because they're the customer, even though, I mean, it's my right hand. And then, you know, talking about how all the pretty girls are taken, and, you know, just being totally awful and kind of buttholy about it. So those guys leave, and I turn around because I hear the alarm, and I was making sure it wasn't them, which it wasn't. The 2 guys looked at me, they looked at each other again, and it was really weird, and I was like, huh? So long story short, if you are a female who absolutely loves men attention, from old men, young men, middle-aged men, men, then work at a home improvement store. There's some interesting people there. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, then please click the subscribe button down below, and also make sure to give this video a thumbs up and turn on the little bell icon to make sure you never miss an upload from me. Tangles in Tiaras! And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Also, I don't think I told you this, but I'm a baby mama now. As I showed you guys Frodo, because if you haven't seen Frodo, you should go on to Instagram right now and follow him at Real Frodo Doggins. Frodo, meet the internet. He's very tired. He's a sleepy baby. We're gonna go night-night. Bye.